Alonso! Come on, Chelsea! Come on! This is getting crazy. This is getting crazy up in here. Chelsea are gargantuan. Chelsea are unbeatable. Chelsea are incredible. Manchester City in the mud. Sergio Aguero in the mud. Pep Guardiola in the mud. They're all in the mud. And we're just winning things. Left, right, and centre. We're bloody third. Leicester-oo. Leicester can't even beat bloody Newcastle. I'm gassed. I'm gassed. Come on, the Chelsea. Come on the Chelsea. This is such a huge dub. It's ridiculous. And Sergio Aguero, cheers, bruv. Cheers, bruv. If you want to come Chelsea in the summer, hey, you're very welcome, bro. You're very, very welcome. We already have the first super chat of the day by Mr. Dan, the man, $5 Canadian donation, saying, talk about highway robbery when they gave Aguero the penalty when Zuma was getting ready to come on the pitch. Man City bottled it. Come on, Chelsea. Come on, Chelsea. Man City bottled it. Chelsea are gargantuan. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I love it. I didn't even say it yet. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to Blues Fans TV for my live review of of Manchester City 1, Chelsea 2. Oh, my days. Oh, my days. Marcos Alonso, you absolute beautiful specimen of a man. The hair he has, so luscious. The man must use conditioner, every half hour. It's ridiculous. Honestly, I'm gassed. I'm gassed. What is going on here? I mean, Pep Guardiola turned up with all the crazy stuff in the first half. Man was playing a 3-3-1 formation. Man was doing all sorts of crazy shit. First 10 minutes, we were dreadful. Then we got into it. Last 5 minutes, we were dreadful. And then Tuchel at halftime was not having it at all. He wasn't having it at all. Man comes out in the second half and we battered City, aside from a 5-minute spell where, they could have obviously maybe had a penalty for Sterling with the Zuma thing. But we'll talk about that in a minute. My days. Oh, my days. And obviously, Hakim Ziyech, so let me just quickly rattle it through. Raheem Sterling makes it 1-0 just before the break. Stupidly bad mistake by Andreas Christensen, sadly. As brilliant as he's been over the last few weeks, that was a really bad error from him. Shouldn't be making an error like that, but hey-oh, shit happens. Problem is, he also injured his own hamstring. And then as we had, basically, I don't think Zuma was on at the time, Billy Gilmore kind of fouled Gabriel Jesus, and they got a penalty. But Aguero tried to do a Panenka, and Mendy was having none of it and just saved it. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Of course, there's debate about should Raheem Sterling have been sent off earlier in the first half. We'll talk about that. Second half, Hakim Ziyech gets a goal. Brilliant goal from outside the box. Puts it right into the bottom hand corner. Nothing Edison can do about it. And we've scored 3 offside goals today. 1 in the first half, 2 in the second half, 2 by Timo Werner, 1 by Callum Hudson-Odoi. And then Marcos Alonso, assisted by Timo Werner in the 92nd minute, turns up and was like, come on, I love it. I love it. Oh, I'm such a fan. I am such a fan. This is ridiculous. This is crazy. But ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to Blues Fans TV, please be sure to subscribe. That'd be genuinely massively appreciated. Go down below right now. Hit that massive subscribe button. Help us reach 125,000 subscribers. Smash the like button if you're happy about Chelsea getting another ginormous dub. We're just taking dubs left, right, and centre. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where we play. We're taking a dub. There's nothing you can do about it. Just accept it. So subscribe, smash the like button, hit the notification bell button so you don't miss any of our future streams and videos. And also, very importantly, please do subscribe to my personal channel, to which the link is in the title. It's literally just my name, as it says down here. It's in the title at Loud on the Best. Could you subscribe to my personal channel? I'm around 250 subscribers only away from 10K. So go down below, head over there and subscribe. That'd be genuinely massively appreciated. But let's talk about the game. Let me actually get the lineup up quickly, presuming it's here somewhere. There it is. This is the lineup we went with today. Obviously, a few people were rested. Obviously, Edouard Mendy remained in goal, but Thiago Silva was left out completely. Didn't even travel to Manchester. So we had a back 3 of Cesar Azpilicueta, Andreas Christensen, and Antonio Rudiger. 2 wing-backs of Reece James and Marcos Alonso. And then a midfield 2 of N'Golo Kante and Billy Gilmore. I was happy about Mason Mount getting a rest, but I didn't expect it to be Jorginho that will get the rest. I thought it would be Jorginho and Gilmore, or Jorginho and Mount rather than Kante. But hey, it worked out, so I'm no complaints from me. And then a front 3 that I expected it: Hakim Ziyech, Christian Pulisic, and Timo Werner. Although, interestingly, it was Hakim Ziyech on the left and Pulisic on the right, which didn't work so well, I suppose. But hey, in the end, we won the game. So brilliant. Absolutely amazing. No complaints from me at all. Ladies and gentlemen, I really want to hear it in the chat right now. Put it in the chat. How you feeling? How you feeling? How happy are you right now? I mean, we must all be absolutely gassed. I am, that's for sure. I certainly am very gassed. That's for 100%. Let me just do a little retweet here. I do apologize, guys. Give me half a second. There we are. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Like I said, first half we struggled. First 10 minutes we struggled because Man City did something that we didn't see coming and we struggled to adapt to it a little bit. Also, we seemed a bit rusty, but obviously we had a day less rest than Man City. I know, and even though they rotated as well, we looked a bit slow. We looked a bit rusty, and it took us a while to get into it. First 10, 15 minutes, we were struggling. Not like they had huge chances, but we were still struggling. We couldn't string a pass in together. It was a bit of a mare. But as the first half went on, we got better and better and better, and we had a few half moments. Obviously, Timo Werner scored an offside goal, but he was well off. Like there was like a shot from Reece James from outside the box, and Werner was just offside. Put it in, but. If he like in this case, we can talk about Timo Werner being offside too much today, but in this case, if he's not offside, if he's not there, then he will never go on the end of it. So, no criticism there. And we had a couple of other moments, but nothing crazy. We were kind of struggling to really get past them, and sometimes we kind of just messed up our counter-attacks, I suppose. And then let me just get the minute up so I don't tell you some waffle. Because, I like waffle, but, we're here to talk some serious business. Right. So Raheem Sterling in the 44th minute, over the top ball. And Sterling was mucked off a little bit by, who was it? Sorry about the ambulance outside. I can't help it. Was it Gabriel Jesus? I'm pretty sure it was Gabriel Jesus. Yeah. Christensen had a bit of a howler. I won't lie, guys. Christensen had a bit of a howler. The ball was literally like this high, just under his head. And he tried to drop kick it away. Misses the ball, goes flying off, and Jesus just squares the ball actually to Aguero, but Aguero bottles it. But Aguero is lucky that Sterling is right next to him and taps it home. And the unfortunate thing is for Christensen, not only did he cost us a goal, he also got injured in the process. I'm like, bro, you should have just headed it out for a corner. It was such an easy header. It was right there, but he kind of just screwed it up a little bit. So that was somewhat unfortunate. But yeah, 1-0 down. And then I'm pretty sure before we ever brought Zuma on, so while we were down to 10 men, I suppose, Billy Gilmour gave away a penalty. Yeah, not ideal, is it? Not ideal. People will say, it's not a pen. I don't think it should be a foul, but they're always given as fouls, if you get what I mean. Hence why I'm like, okay, that's a pen. But thankfully, Sergio Aguero, like I touched on already, decided he wants to join Chelsea in the summer, doesn't really want to score against us, so did the worst Panenka I've ever seen in my life. Edomini was already on the floor, got back up, saved him with one hand. Big dub. An absolute, cojones by Mendy, the way he was like, all right, you're going to be cool, I'm going to be cooler. Do you know what I mean? I loved it. Big fan. Let's quickly, guys, put it in the chat. Did you think Raheem Sterling should have been sent off? I will give you my honest opinion right now. We will get Joe on in just a minute as well to see what he has to say about it. For me, and I know Chelsea fans don't like to hear this, for me, it's one of those where you can give it, but I've seen plenty of them given and I've seen plenty of them not given. I think it's a typical situation of if the ref gives it, VAR won't overturn it to a red, not a red card. And if the referee, like Anthony Taylor did, of course, Anthony Taylor is dodgy, but like Anthony Taylor did not give a red card, VAR also won't overturn it to a red card. I think it's one of those. People will go crazy at it. And I know Timo Werner got a bit lucky not to get injured, sure. But I still think Sterling clearly went for the ball. I know his foot was a bit high and his studs were up, but there was no malicious intent in there. It was just a bit unfortunate. So that's why I think you can give the red card, but I don't think you have to. Hence why I wasn't totally surprised. But hey-ho, we'll see. We'll see. Going into the second half, we changed things up a tiny bit. Not in terms of substitutions, but we had a bit of a better idea of how to play against this Man City. Thomas Tuchel clearly told them a very good halftime talking. I was a big fan of that. Very big fan. Because he was much better. First 5 minutes of the second half maybe took a minute to get used to the new idea. But the longer the second half went on, the better we got. City were just kind of defending their lead. It was ridiculous. We have a super chat here saying, Aguero the mug, lol. Tuchel, not Tuchel, that's not his name. Tuchel, right? 2-0 Pep, Champions League final pending. Come on. We're making it 3-0. What you going to do about it? Nothing. Nothing, Pep. You're not gonna take another L, and Thomas Tuchel is going to become your lifelong nemesis. Like you've become Jose Mourinho's lifelong nemesis, Thomas Tuchel is going to become yours, and I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. Any which way. Second half, we start bossing things. Reece James starts to turn into prime Cafu. Jorginho eventually comes on for Kante, who obviously needed a bit of a rest. It was probably always the plan. One of them starts, the other one comes on. Makes sense. But I think we took another... Kante was brilliant defensively, but I think we took another step in terms of how well we keeping the ball. Billy Gilmour had a brilliant game. Struggled first 10, 15 minutes, as the rest of the team did, but got better and better and better the longer the game went on. Timo Werner, we're going to have a chat about him. And I'll get Joe's opinion on this as well, because I'm kind of annoyed at him, but I'm also kind of like feel bad for him. Plus, I'm super happy for him for getting the assist later on because the man did not stop running, and he was dead. He was shattered. He was having to puff his lung out to get some air into it. First half already after sprint. He was not ready to play today. It seemed like to me, and you could you might not understand German, but from the sideline, just before the end of the game, they were shouting to him, "Just one more minute, Timo. Just one more minute. You got this. You got this." Like he was done. He was absolutely done, but he kept sprinting. He kept running and running and running and running. Problem was half the time was offside, and he scored 2 offside goals. Again, no criticism for the first one. The second one was a bit annoying because if he just walked back a bit quicker, it would have been on. And obviously, who knows whether he scores it regardless. But he actually rounded the keeper really well and scored it. Took it really well. But ayo, is what it is. And there was a number of other occasions where he just was offside all the time. It was annoying. And obviously, he can't beat a man. We know this now. He cannot dribble past the guy. He should stop trying it or just go straight. Don't try to do your fancy dribbling. You can't do that. So just stop trying. Or maybe when you're confident, super high, try it again, but not for now. But then that late run, again, Callum Hudson-Odoi, who came on as well, brilliant work. Oh, let me actually first go to Hakim Ziyech's goal. Lovely piece of, connection play. But who was it? Obviously, it was Azpilicueta and Ziyech. I think Pulisic was involved too. Joe might correct me in a second, but I think it was Pulisic too. But anyways, lovely build-up, lovely, play, and Azpilicueta almost showing Reece James from the first half. Reece James, second half, Reece James was brilliant, but first half, Reece James was a bit. And Azpi was like, "See, this is how you play right wing work. You play attacking passes, bro." And that's what he did. Ziyech took the ball and just hit it from just outside the box, squeezed it. Oh, lovely, very brilliant. Anyways, Callum Hudson-Odoi comes on for Hakim Ziyech. Then obviously Pulisic goes over to the left side, and Callum on the right side. And Callum also scored an offside goal from a Reece James cross. Correct decision. Unfortunate. They should all hold their runs a bit more, especially when they're such fast players. Again, I've said this before. If someone like Giroud is offside a lot, I won't criticize him too much because he is slow. He needs to play on the edge to give himself that bit of an advantage because he doesn't have the pace. But a Werner, a Hudson-Odoi, a Pulisic, these guys are fast. So you can't just stay off a yard and then go when it's ready, right? So that was good. But anyway, Callum Hudson-Odoi later on 92nd minute or whatever it was, goes on a bit of a run, plays through Timo Werner. Great run by Timo. And Timo just cuts it back. I think it was Pulisic and Alonso couldn't really decide who goes for it. Alonso with his weaker right foot. Awful finish, really. Awful connection, really. But somehow get a chips, scuffs it over Edison into the far corner. Brilliant. Absolutely amazing. I went ballistic. I mean, I had to stress because obviously I had everything ready for the stream. Result 1-1, all the tags, all the description, blah, blah, blah. I had to change everything super quick. Anyway, Alonso actually not long before that had a ridiculous chip attempt, but maybe he could have cut it back to Timo Werner. I don't know. It's a tough one, but he tried to chip it. Didn't hit the target, sadly. Won a lovely over-the-top ball. But, hey, what a dub. And to discuss that dub, I'm going to get our good friend, Mr. Joe Mason, as he told me last time. Brilliant second name, sorry. First of all, Joe, how you doing? Second of all, glad to see you. How you doing, bro?
I'm better now. There we go.
There you are. Couldn't hear you.
Yeah,
there you go.
Good. Yeah, all good, man. It wasn't the most enjoyable watch, but it was a bloody enjoyable ending. I'll tell you that much. It was a slug. First 45 minutes was a slug, but we can't be too negative. We got the dub. Happy. Overall, a pretty decent performance from most people.
No, exactly. I 100% agree. And like I said at the very beginning, before you joined, we also have to remember we had a day less, of preparation than them, or of rest than them. It was their choice that they rested as many people as they did. Unlucky, mate. No celebration for you today. We're third in the league. Brilliant, because Leicester bottled it against Newcastle yesterday. So we're having a lovely old time. But, we rested a few players. We didn't have a lot of rest. And we went to the Etihad and got a dub. Not many teams do that. And, we struggled a bit in the first half because they did something we didn't expect. But at the end of the day, we adapted. And second half, we took the piss. Like, obviously, they had that Sterling penalty moment with Zuma. You can give your thoughts on that in a minute as well, and also on the first penalty and the possible red card. But at the end, other than that, City did nothing. Oh, they had the Foden one, where Foden nearly squeezed it home from a cross. But that was it. The possible penalty and that Foden chance. Other than that, they did nothing. It's nothing second half. Don't know if they got tired. Don't know if they thought they had it at 1-0. And then, was, like I said, this Foden chance and the possible penalty was after our 2 offside goals second half. So they kind of sorted themselves out a bit. But kind of on themselves sorting it out, we got a bit more space. And that's when Alonso had his lob. And that's when, obviously, in the end, we got the goal. So brilliant. But actually, let me just get your thoughts. First of all, did you think Sterling should have been sent off? Or is it one of those, like for me, where it's like, you can give it, but maybe you don't have to?
I've seen people get sent off for less. His foot was high. I think it was fair. I can understand why people would think it's a red, but he clearly went for the ball. There was no malicious intent, and his foot, although it was higher than it had to be, it wasn't high enough to warrant too much of the damage. And luckily, Werner wasn't injured too badly in the process. He looked quite achy today. I think that might actually played a factor for
he got clattered left, right, and centre today. Didn't he?
Yeah, and I also think his not saying his legs have gone, but I think that might have been one of the factors that he was more offside than he normally was today. Just because I think he wanted to give himself that sort of extra yard, just because maybe he didn't feel too up for it compared to what he normally was, or anything like that.
He was just tired as well. Obviously he played the last 2 games as well.
Yeah, big time.
Last 3 even. He played the full 90 in all of the last 3. Or not full 90 maybe, but he started the last 3. Madrid both times and Fulham.
Yeah. But no, I don't think he deserved a red card. I think, there should have been more yellow cards all around the shop, actually, us included. 100%. But I also think the Zuma incident with the penalty, in my eyes, that was more of a penalty than the Gilmour decision. But maybe that played a factor into Taylor's thought process.
I think they're probably both 50-50s, if that makes sense. So he kind of gave one, didn't give the other. It's probably one of those.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a weird one. I said this earlier. The Gilmour Jesus one in the first half. I don't think this should be a foul, but every time I see it happen, it's always given as a foul. So every time I see it, I kind of question my own kind of knowledge of the rules, because I'm like, well, maybe the rules just say it is a foul, but I never think it is. But obviously this, because it's in the box and it was kind of slower movement, but it's the same thing as if an attacker runs and a defender runs and the attacker crosses him and he clips his heels. It's the exact same thing. The attacker crossed Gilmour, even though Billy was kind of just half stood there or slightly running. He kind of was just run into, but they're always given as fouls, whether it's in the box or not. They're always given as fouls. So it's kind of like, I would like it not to be a pen, but every ref I've ever seen always gives these fouls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And I tell you what as well, I would not like to be Sergio Aguero in that dressing room today. Because that is, if you're 3-0 up and it doesn't. Yeah, exactly. If you're 3-0 up and it's all going your way and you miss that, fair enough. You're 1-0 up, man. That would have been their 3 points if that penalty went in. Why he didn't just leather it, I don't know. But it works for us. So, he didn't really have the best. He was very quiet. From what we know Sergio Aguero can do, I think we did a relatively good job against him defensively.
There's a reason he doesn't usually start for them.
Definitely. He's and again, I said it before. Hopefully Sammy clips it. But I said on the watch along, Alonso is either going to have a match-winning goal or have a stinker. And luckily it was the match winner.
Yeah, it was. But it was a weird one because, and I tweeted this as well. I actually thought Alonso had a good game, a very good game. Like man of the match type performance until the goal maybe, but he had a good game. I rarely saw him being beaten. He made sure he blocked his crosses. He very rarely let one past him. He was in position. He held this ball up quite well. He didn't lose possession in dangerous areas like we obviously know of him usually. So fair play. He's our second choice left wing back. But he did a good job today and obviously got the winner in the end. And, people know how critical, well, not just me, but a lot of Chelsea fans are of him on a regular basis. Did a good job today. Fair dues. And, I suppose that actually, I want to get your thoughts on the whole Christensen thing. Do you think people are being harsh on Christensen, or do you think it was just that was a howler?
I wouldn't necessarily call it a howler. I think they are being harsh on him. He absolutely didn't have the best game we've seen him. He can do much better. Probably was. I mean, it's unfair because he did only play less than 45 minutes. But he was definitely the weak link in defence today. I'm not saying he is the weak link. I just think today he didn't really turn up to the races like the others did.
No, I would agree. I mean, I do think Tuchel kind of. I'm not sure whether it was always the plan or whether it was kind of adapting to what City did, but we kind of changed it a little bit in terms of, You know how we played against Fulham and Gilmore was often kind of left exposed a little bit in midfield because we pushed up the other 8 almost like, or the other 6, along with kind of one of the 10s in the front. We kind of did that again today at times, but to not leave Billy exposed, or Kante today, because Billy was the one that pushed. Rudiger almost pushed up as a second DM, meaning Christensen had a lot of areas to cover as the centre back and on the left side. But also he got caught by that ball 2 or 3 times today. Once Rudiger helped him out very early in the game for a Torres chance, and obviously when the goal happened, for me it's a howler because it's such an easy header. The ball's literally right there, just head it, and it goes out for a corner. Obviously, who knows, we might concede from the corner. That can happen, right? But that's a new situation to defend for us. But don't try drop kick. Like, you're not. Do you know what I mean? You're not a gymnast. You're a footballer. Do what you know.
And literally. And even more to back your point up, in the process, he gets injured for trying something like that. Hopefully, it's not too serious and it was a bit more precautionary. He wasn't having the best game anyway, so I would have maybe that substitution might have been on the cards anyway. But luckily it didn't come to anything like too severe, but he did put us under pressure we didn't need to be, especially just going in before half time. A 0-0 would have been great.
No, well, it really would have been, obviously. And then that penalty that thankfully didn't go in anyway. And that probably would have been game over. But thankfully, like I said, it didn't go in. But, that penalty was given away while we were down to 10 men because Zuma, I'm pretty sure, hadn't come on yet. So, that was not an ideal situation for everybody involved. But, I mean, you never know. Maybe Christensen was a bit tired and maybe Tuchel shouldn't have started him. Who knows? What we do know and what we can say is that, hey, it didn't work. But at the end of the day, the lads made up for it in the second half, I suppose. And that second half, I can't even tell you. There was so many brilliant performances. Reece James was fantastic. Billy Gilmore was fantastic. Jorginho, when he came on, I thought was brilliant. Ziyech got better and better. I thought Ziyech had problems, and the same with Pulisic. They both had good moments and bad moments. Pulisic in the first half triggered me a few times because we had the ball out on the left, and he was the guy that would fill the box. And he was just jogging along. I never saw him sprint off the ball. People telling me he had a few sprints that maybe I didn't notice. But in those situations where we had the ball out on the left and someone could have played a ball into the box when they didn't have 7 men there because they played a back 5 today, or back 3, and then obviously defensively a back 5. He never made those runs. But second half, he sorted himself out a little bit. Was involved in the goal, obviously the decisive goal. And he was involved in the equalizer as well. So brilliant performances all around in the second half. Who was obviously your standout player, I suppose, on the day overall, but maybe especially in the second half?
My standout player. Do you know what? I'm going to give
you can pick a few, obviously.
Yeah, I think Reece was fantastic. It'd be a toss-up between Reece and Kante because I think Kante has absolutely silenced anyone who thought ill of him the last month or so. I mean, I wasn't one of them, but the people that were, I did understand. But we're seeing one of the best CDMs back to their best, and it is fantastic to watch him play. But Reece James or Kante for me, probably Reece edged it just because of his attacking prowess.
Okay, but obviously Kante didn't. Was he on the pitch when we made a 1-1, or did he come off before that even? Let me check.
That's a good question. The goal was, what was the goal? 63.
It was taken off 5 minutes after, so I suppose. But yeah, I mean, Kante was good 100%, but I feel like when we decided the game, he wasn't on the pitch anymore, so that's why for me, I'm not sure whether I could pick him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get you. And I also, a big shout out to Timo. Like you said, the man didn't stop. He was unfortunate. He needs to sort. All he's got to do is sort. He's just got to time his runs that slight better. But then again, props to City because they kept their line strong. Sometimes getting caught offside is down to the other team playing a good defensive line, and they are one of the best at holding it. So you can't really blame Timo for being offside twice. I mean, the first one was so obvious. I don't know why he even touched it. But the second one was a difficult one to call. It was the right decision, but it is down to them having a good defensive line, not so much Timo mistiming everything. And he got an assist. So
I would agree. I mean, obviously the problem with Timo is it's a regular thing that he's offside. And like I said, like when you were obviously in not in the stream but there and maybe listening, he's just so quick that, Michael Owen said it after the Real Madrid game. As a striker, if you're offside, full well. And so it's a frustrating thing that it happens so often to him. It's similar with Morata, but I also think, I'm not saying he's like Morata, but with the offside thing. And I also think the more you're desperate to score, the more you end up being offside because you don't have the patience to hold your runs. And, if he didn't have confidence issues, if he didn't have goal droughts, he wouldn't ever be in these situations where he constantly is offside.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if I was him, if I was trying to be him psychologically, and if I was Tuchel, I'd maybe say this, like you had in that game, yes, they were offside, they don't count, that he still played well enough to be in those positions and score not 2 goals because the first one was so blatant, but the first one, milliseconds in it. So like he should go into the recent games. He could go to Wednesday, go to the cup finals. He should go in with that confidence and go, I can do it. He's just got to time it better. But again, props to City that they're a fantastic defense for a reason. They hold their line very well.
I think that's a very good point to make, I think, and a very fair point as well. Like, you have to give a little, like, obviously, because if it was the other way around, we'd be sat here crediting our defenders for playing such a great offside trap. Obviously, that's not for every occasion. For example, his first his second offside goal, he was just a bit slow and lazy in terms of coming back onside.
Yeah.
If he did that a bit quicker, he would, obviously, who knows if the ball happens the same, if his touch is the same, maybe this extra yard actually did help him. So who knows if he's onside, if it even happens. But he should make sure to be onside and not be a bit lazy in that sense. But that's the only criticism I will say in terms of the offside stuff today.
Yeah, no, I can't. And I was one of the first people to critique everything Timo did wrong, like in recent weeks. I've been one of the people that like get him off, he's rubbish, blah, 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 blah. He put a shift in today and he shouldn't go unnoticed just because of a couple of offsides. I think it was, I'm not saying that you're letting him go unnoticed because like we're pretty much on the same page with it. But as in people that say, oh, he didn't score today, that
they got the match winning assist, like
yeah, his influence is the reason we A, got the win in the first place, and B, strive for the win. Because there are a couple of people I would have been very chuffed with a draw today.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's done a gut busting run in the 92nd minute. I mean, where we got those 3 minutes from, I don't know, but I'll take it. So it doesn't matter.
But to be fair, 3 minutes in the Premier League, very rarely do you see less than 3 minutes given, I suppose.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, before I leave in a couple of minutes, and obviously Joe takes over fully, quickly, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to Blues Fans TV. We really want to hit 125,000 subscribers. Huge end to the season coming. Loads of brilliant content for you guys, so definitely don't want to miss it. Get subscribed, smash that like button if you're happy about Chelsea getting such a huge win today. What a win that was, honestly. And of course, hit the notification bell button so you don't miss any of our future streams and videos. And check out my personal channel, to which a link is in the title. Literally, just click the @ of my name, @LawanTedescu. It takes you straight to my channel. I'm less than 250,000, not 250,000, less than 250 away from 10,000 subscribers. So if you could hit that, the sooner the better. Obviously, that'd be fantastic. So if you could head over there and subscribe, that'd be absolutely brilliant. But actually, Joe, what I would like to ask you is, how do you think the game, in the end, how it went, how the result is, do you think it has any sort of impact for the Champions League final? And who does it favour, this result for the final?
I think it's good. It's good to have that mentality to go, well, we've done it before. There could be a danger of maybe complacency, like just urging into some people. But I don't think Tuchel's the type of manager to let that go unnoticed, and he will say that. We also showed that, we both made rotations today, but I mean, if that's our B team and that's their B team, that's fantastic quality of football. So, but it says a lot. It says a lot for our season. It shows how much we've come with essentially the same players. I know Lampard didn't have a lot of time with the new signings, but we didn't look anywhere near as clinical or effective when we had the ball under Lampard. So Tuchel, he gets huge props for this, and it's good chances. We got Leicester look like they're in a bit of crumbling.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, he's crumbling. which is a shame. I really rate Rodgers, and I think he's done a fantastic job. But I just like those players for some reason they can't hold on to it, which shows it's us in good stead for the 15th. I think we've got a massive chance of what we thought would have been completely impossible at the start of the season, and we could be coming home with a double, which is ridiculous in the best way.
Yeah, and even making 2012 better by not finishing 6th but 3rd.
Yeah, which is just brilliant. And like just the thought of it. I mean, and also I know they've got 2 games in hand, and also their triple game weeks coming up. But if results go our way, we're only 3. I mean, they're going to get 1 win out of the 3, let's say, but we're not too far off United. That's a really good season. It's a really good. I think at the minute they're 67, we're 64. Don't quote me on that, but it's relatively close. I mean, they've played a couple of games less, of course, but they've got some pretty tough fixtures. Villa aren't to be sniffed at, and of course they got Liverpool. Can't remember the third team, but yeah,
did they play Leicester as well?
That might be it. Yeah, possibly Leicester.
But it's definitely a tough one for them, and you're obviously playing Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday. It's crazy. Like one of those they'll have to bounce. Obviously, they have a good squad as well, and I mean people like Donny van der Beek have barely got minutes all season long. But it was interesting for me today because especially the first half was like a chess match. Like especially the first half an hour, like. Klopp did, Guardiola did something that we didn't necessarily see coming. It took us 15 minutes to get used to it. Then we started to adapt to it. In the second half, Tuchel came out of the block and was like, "Hey, you're doing something different. I've got you covered anyway. I've got you covered anyway, no matter what you do." And that's why I think it puts us in a good step because Guardiola came with something different, and it took Klopp and the team less than 10 minutes or 15 minutes to sort it out. And by half time, we were a better team again. So it was. Really well done by the boys today and by Thomas Tuchel as well, in my opinion. Because again, I really want to reiterate that it's not easy if you only have 2 days rest between 2 games, and not even just any game. If we played like Fulham 2 days ago, that's a bit different. But it was Real Madrid. Not only was it a physically demanding game, but it was mentally such a I'm sure a lot of fans felt it as well. There was almost a bit of a come down after we made that happen, where you were like, I already got myself hyped up for another game here, especially for another big game. And I'm like, I can't even comprehend how difficult it must be for the players. So the fact that we managed to turn this around today after going 1-0 down, crazy. Honestly, crazy to me. Big ups.
It's awesome. Massive props to Ziyech as well. He's not got as many opportunities as I think he deserves, but he really proved his point to be in contention for the bigger games for the rest of the season. Played really, really well. Got a goal, and he. If we were playing a less dominant defence, I think 2 or 3 of those balls would have gone in for brilliant assists.
I would agree. I don't think he was. I mean, he did struggle at times in the game, but what I saw from him that it came in the second half. But Ziyech at least turned up trying, and I felt Pulisic let me down a little bit today. Maybe it's because I didn't like his words after the semi-final. But I feel like if you're going to come out with after we qualify for a Champions League final, you're going to be there in an interview saying how frustrated you are about not starting. And then in the next game, for the first hour, you don't look bothered. That's not a good look for me.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think it's harsh of me, but not at right 100%.
Yeah, it was a maybe it might have just been a poor choice of words, or it might be him throwing his toys out the pram with sort of a little bit of arrogance. But we played one of the historically greatest teams in Europe off the park. So, if we lost that game and he came out and said, "Oh, I should have started," fair enough. We won. And when he did come on, he really shows how brilliant he was as a super sub. And, the people that interview the players after the game, they ask very fueled questions to get those types of reactions, sort of thing.
Although I will say in this case, I don't think the question was dodgy. I think the question was an acceptable question. I think he almost made it dodgy himself, if that makes sense. Again, I said this myself, on my channel. I was like, I don't have a problem with him feeling this. I totally understand that he wanted to start, but I just didn't think it was necessary to say publicly after the team qualified for a Champions League final. The team should be more important than your personal, small problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And again, he
yeah.
can go to Tuchel and it's like, pause, gaffer. I was really frustrated about not starting today. You can have the conversation. I'm sure Tuchel is a guy that you can have that type of conversation with. But it wasn't necessary to say it publicly. But I don't want to put a negative spin on today in the slightest at all. Fantastic. Again, I mean, before the game, I was in a position where I'm like, I don't really know. Is this good? Is this bad? That if we win, if we draw, if we lose, how does this affect the final? But I also said to myself, no matter what happens, I will, in my head, somehow spin it why it's good. And that's what I'm doing here right now, because it's like, well, we've done them over twice. And first time out, we were just significantly the better team. And second time out, we had, and their excuse was kind of like, we had a day less rest. This time we had a day less rest. We rotated. It was our B team, if you will. And we had them on smoke in the second half. I had a great time. I mean, you could say we scored 5 goals today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, you could say that with Madrid as well. It's sort of thing like that. But there was an element of lethargy in the first half, particularly going forward. You had the speed of Timo was sort of really the only thing that was getting us up front, with the exception of a couple of crossfield balls from James or Ziyech. But it was very it was a lethargic start. But whatever Tuchel said at half time, long may that type of half-time talk continue if they come out the gates like that.
100%. Couldn't agree more, mate. Could not agree more. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to head off in just a second. So again, one last reminder, be sure to subscribe to Blues Fans if you haven't already. Definitely stay tuned for obviously what Joe has to share with you right now for his player rating tier list. Stuff like that. Tune in for that. Get subscribed. Like I said, smash the like button. Subscribe to my personal channel, to which the link is in the title. Just click the name and it takes you straight to my channel. Help me reach 10,000 subscribers. And yeah, Joe, the stage is yours. Appreciate you obviously joining me for the last 20 minutes or whatever it was. And what a dub. Chelsea, like I said, Chelsea are absolutely gargantuan.
Huge. Massive. Pleasure to be here. I'll be here next week. Well, I should hopefully be seeing you on Wednesday. So
exactly. Let's do that.
So we'll be there.
Brilliant. Take care, man.
Awesome, man. Catch you a bit. Guys, before I do get onto my tier list, do not forget to subscribe to Lauren's personal channel. He is on his way to 10K, so let's get him there as quick as possible because it is rightfully deserved. But we've got just over 20 minutes. Let's do a tier list. Guys, please get involved with me. I might, if you give me a good enough argument, I might change my opinions. Who knows? But here we go. So this is my tier list today. I'm pretty certain I haven't missed anybody. But yeah. Yes, I haven't missed anyone. Fantastic. Okay. So let's start with Edouard Mendy. This was good. It's a good game for him. He, of course, didn't keep his clean sheet. Couldn't have done anything without at point blank range. Sort of sloppy-ish defending, really, in the end. It was first to the ball a lot of times. He came out for his corners because a lot of people were relatively critical about him not being too commanding during corners. He had a very good game. Didn't get a clean sheet. I am going to give Edouard Mendy a 7. Dave, do you know what? I'm going to stick Dave here as well. Fantastic. Could have been a little bit quicker to some balls. He did get caught going. He didn't get caught going forward. Sorry, no, he did get caught behind him ever so slightly. He hasn't got the legs that he once did. So I'm going to keep him there. But yeah, he did a very, very decent job. Now, Rudiger, I think he gets an 8. He has made such a difference in his own ability since Tuchel's come, from being literally 5th choice centre-back to probably one of the best on the starting lineup. I think he was fantastic. I think going forward, he even poses a threat. I'd like to see him be a little bit more of an aerial threat going forward for corners and free kicks and things like that. But other than that, I can't really fault him, to be honest. He's strong, he's sturdy, he's aggressive in the best sense. He gets an 8 today. I think he played really, really well. Andreas Christensen. Now, some of you might disagree with me and it might be harsh, but bearing in mind he played just under 45 minutes and was, in my opinion, the sloppiest defender. on the pitch. Only today, I'm not saying he is the sloppiest, but just on this 45 minutes alone, I'm going to keep Andreas Christensen there because I can't really give him any more than a 5. Because, like Lauren said before I got here, what he did there for the goal to be conceded, that was just a simple header out. So he's staying there, unfortunately. I know Lewis will kill me, but he was the reason. Well, not the sole reason, but he was a huge part of why we went 1-0 down in the first place. So he's going to stay there for me today. Reece James. He played fantastic. He's been on the sidelines as of late, which I think is a little bit unjust sometimes, but totally understandable given the amount of games we've had to play. He was very good. He was pinging his crosses in. He was defensively. We know he's relatively not weak, but his weakness on his overall game is probably his defense. So I'm going to give Reece. He was fantastic, however. Pinging crosses in. He was aggressive. He was strong. He was making massive runs. I'm going to give Reece an 8. Again, guys, do get the super chats going and all of that sort of stuff. Let me know what you think of my ratings. Do you agree? Do you disagree? All that jazz. Get involved. Get involved. Marcus. Right. We love Marcus. We love Marcus. Obviously, I'm Ben Chilwell's best mate. So, but I do understand why he played. And like I said on the watch along, this man is either going to have an absolute stinker or score the match winner. And he scored the match winner. Marcos Alonso is going to get a 9 from me. I think he played extremely well. He's the reason why we're leaving with 3 points. He didn't really let anybody sort of make the most of his side, because I know obviously he can get caught defensively. He's not the quickest, he's not the strongest, but he did a very, very sturdy job today. He got us the match winner. He's getting a 9, 100%. N'Golo Kante, he came off, I believe it was Lawrence said the 67th, 68th minute. Won many of the balls, had to do a bit more defending than he does do sometimes, because of course he does strive for those attacks a lot of the time. He played very well. He came off. I'm going to give Kante a 7. He is very, very consistent, and I've rarely seen him have a performance under a 7 out of 10. I think he is one of the greatest players that I've seen in this era of Chelsea Football Club. I think he's fantastic, which is why I'm going to give him a 7. He was good. He solid, just under 70 minutes. And he should be very proud of his performance. And I believe the only reason he came off is because he's being rested for either Wednesday, or he may not play that at all, and just even extra, just 20 minutes off the pitch, because the amount of ground that man covers is absurd. Billy Gilmore. A lot of people were giving Gilmore stick, saying he had a really bad game, and I disagree, actually. I disagree wholeheartedly. Yes, he gave the penalty away, but it was very soft, and it was, in my opinion, unfair. I don't think it should have been given. I think Zuma's foul on Sterling was far more blatant than Billy's. But he didn't get caught too much. He went going forward. Man City are a difficult side. You've got to remember he's 19. This was this was a great game for him to play. We did it. It was fantastic. So I'm going to give him a 7 also. Very, very good there. Hakim Ziyech, I'm going to stick him right here and give him an 8 because he's got his goal, obviously. So very obvious reason for being a relatively high score. But even before so, I think if Timo was a little bit more switched on in the first half, a couple of Ziyech's crosses could definitely have ended up in assists and things like that. He does very, very good on the ball. That left foot is remarkable. He looked up for it today. He looked very up for it. And in some games he hasn't. Like I said, when Lawrence was with us, he hasn't had as many chances as I believe he should. But that's because the competitive nature of our forward players is so immense. So I'm very glad he took this opportunity to perform as well as he did today. And hopefully I'd quite like to see him on Wednesday, because I think he poses a real threat. And as we've seen, Manchester City's defence is far more capable of blocking those types of crosses than Arsenal's are at this current moment. So I think it could be a huge game for Hakim Ziyech on Wednesday. And hopefully I'm right. Pulisic, he did not have his best game today. I know how fantastic he is, so it might be me being a bit harsh. But like Lauren said, he didn't look... He wasn't really at the races today. He was getting pushed off the ball a little bit too easily for my liking. He wasn't very strong, and nothing he really did came to it. He had a couple of wayward shots. So I'm gonna keep him there, unfortunately. I can't give him more than a 6, I don't think. And people might disagree with me for that. But yeah, I can't give him more than a 6, I'm afraid. Timo Werner. He was fantastic today. Yes, I agree. He did create the first goal, yeah. But, you know, overall, I can't really give him more than a 6 due to his overall game. I understand, but and yes, thank you, Ferguson. Thank you. Also, guys, do not forget, if you would like to, I'm going to start making my own content. I'm going to show everybody my music and things like that on YouTube. So if you would like to, please subscribe to my personal channel on YouTube as well, which is Bluesbro Joe. I'm literally just starting off, so it looks very threadbare at the moment. But if you would like that, please do so. Where was I? Timo. I'm giving Timo a 9. I think he was fantastic. He does need to watch his runs. He shouldn't have been naive enough to not be caught offside so much. He knows what Manchester City are like. He knows they play a high line, and he knows how fast he is. So that is my one criticism, and probably why I didn't give him a 10. But he created the goal. He did not stop running, and he posed a real threat. And I think we're finally seeing what all the hype was about for him and the capabilities that he possesses. And I really hope that he just gets better and better and better. It is frustrating when you get caught offside 2 or 3 times a game, but that is the nature of how Manchester City defend, and it's also can't really coexist well with a fast striker. But that's why they do it. That's why they're one of the best teams in Europe at what they do, because they catch people like Werner off guard. Yes, he's offside a lot in some games, but you know, he got an assist. It was fantastic. He was unlucky to not get a goal himself. There were a couple of crosses of Reese's where he was just inches away, but you know, he played really well. And I think I, myself included, have been very critical of Timo, but towards the end of this season, he's going to play a huge part in both the cup finals, I believe. So let's just get him. Let's get him ready. Let's get him ready. Let's get behind him. Let's get behind Timo. Mr. Beast, 20 easy chances today to miss Cross and Reese. Yeah, I do agree I agree with you, but I can't stress enough how much he should not be the lone striker. He needs to be playing on the left. Every time he plays on the left, we saw it. The second he started playing on a wing, he gets an assist. He works best in space, and Manchester City don't give us space. You know. Oh, apologies for that, Ferguson. That was not me. I don't know that. Maybe it's because it's yeah, I've got no idea. But I'm in control of who gets timed out today, so that was not me. Apologies, but apologies anyway. So these two are done. Jorginho, J5. I'm going to give him a 7. He came on. He came on, and he didn't put a foot wrong. He was very, very good. Did some very he was more defensive than we've seen him in last few games anyway. But no, did a fantastic job. He played just over 30 minutes, so I can't give him more than a 7. But he played really, really well. And what a substitute to have. Absolutely fantastic. Callum Hudson-Odoi, I didn't, you know, again, I can't give him more than a 7 either, which might be unfair. But he was fine. That's the best I can give him. And that's really what I think of Callum Hudson-Odoi at the moment. I think he has the capability to be a fantastic player, but at the moment he is just fine. And Chelsea going forward at the moment need more than just fine. Of course, he was a substitute and stuff. He scored an offside goal, and he's eager to impress. But I think the with him trying so hard to impress, he's actually being his own main downfall because he's just desperate for something to go right. But I do understand that, and I hope he gets a run out against Arsenal. Sorry, and then Pulisic should be higher. Okay, well, we'll go with the general consensus, guys. Who thinks I'm being unfair to Pulisic? Maybe I am. I'm very aware of what he is actually capable of, and I didn't really see any of it today. Yes, he got the assist. He did get the assist, but that was also a very good goal from Ziyech. He was in a tight space, and anything like that. Yes, thank you. He did play a huge part in the winning, which is why I'm giving that. But he did get an offside goal, yes, but I go back to the thought he is trying to impress so much that he's actually hindering his own success. Might be unfair. There you go. And Kurt Zouma, he played fine. I'm going to give him. Do you know what? I'm going to give Zouma an 8, and that might be crazy, but let me tell you why. Yes, he gave. I remember him giving the ball away once. Luckily, it came to fruition. Mendy did well. I believe it was about 5 or 6 minutes before the penalty incident, there was a very similar run that Sterling did, and the block he made, and it might be me overreacting, but the ball he blocked was a match-winning block, because I could see it in my head that it's going bottom to the right of Mendy and straight into the bottom corner. So it is fantastic. Like, it was brilliant. And so I'm giving him an 8, and I think he was very strong. We didn't expect to see him. Of course, we really sincerely hope that Christensen gets back to fitness. I doubt he'll play on Wednesday. I reckon. I think defensively, what the game finished with will probably, maybe with exception to Alonso and Chilwell, but I think Alonso deserves to play against Arsenal actually, because I would rather see Chilwell in the cup finals. So if he wants a rest, I've got no issue with Alonso. I think that is me, guys. That's me. So I've got 6 minutes. If you just want to ask me any questions about Wednesday, about the rest of the game, about my own personal channel that's going to come soon. But that is my tier ratings, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. I always enjoy doing that. Ziyech, 8.5. Yeah, I mean, I would give him an 8.5, but I didn't. And also, guys, so as you can see up there, I've got GOAT at the top there. Can you please just argue amongst yourselves with me as well? Who was your man of the match? And we'll all decide on the man of the match today. My preferred front three for the Champions League final: Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, Timo Werner. I think it worked very, very well against Madrid. And I think there will be my three: Mount, Werner, Havertz. Mount, Werner, Havertz. Or if you're not, if you take one of those people out, it's probably going to be Werner, and I'd get Pulisic. But that would be my main front three. So we're thinking. So Billy Gilmore's getting man match. I wouldn't go through it. So Reece James. Yeah, I'm sort of stuck between Reece James or Kante, but then what's siding it is Reece played the whole game and was a threat throughout. So I'm inclined to think that Reece was our man of the match. Yeah, and I know this sounds silly of me saying that he's man of the match, and I've given Alonso and Werner a point above him. But that's because what they did at the end is the reason we got the 3 points. So that's my thinking. But my overall game, I think Reece had a really, really good game. So if we're all in agreement of Reece, I'll do Reece. We can have Reece today. So we'll swap him out. Reece James is our man of the match today. Fantastic. So, guys, we've got a couple of minutes. Who comes in for Christensen now that he is injured? No, Zuma can be trusted. But I think Kurt Zuma's best games this season have come when Thiago Silva is on the pitch with him. So, in regards to that, I don't want Thiago Silva to get burnt out before the cup finals. So I don't know if he should be playing without Thiago Silva. But then you have the argument of like, where do they play? So I think the back three on Wednesday, if he's fit, should be Aspi, Rudy, and Thiago Silva. Or I'd rest Rudy and I'd put Zuma on with Thiago Silva because every single time I see. Chilwell didn't play today, unfortunately, but of course, Chilwell's got a 10. He's got a 10. He warmed that bench fantastically. But Pulisic was driving the whole game, and he deserves an 8. No, I wouldn't agree with that purely because he got muscled off the ball too much, and I know they're a physical side, City, but you can't be that. You need to be stronger in times like that. If you know they're a physical team. And you may not have the ability to body them like you would want to. You find yourself space, and he didn't do that today for me. Yes, he did. He has been sneak ahead. He was playing at wing back for the first 2 games, but for the Real games, yeah. But today, this is my preferred position to see Aspi in because he doesn't have to track forward as much, and I don't think he's got the legs to be a right wing back. I think if he went at right wing back today, it would have been a different story. I think he would have been run ragged, which might be unfair because I love Aspi. But no, I think it was right for him to play where he did today. And it was good for Reece to be there. I'd quite like to see Callum Hudson-Odoi start on Wednesday. What do you guys think? Because I don't think, it's famous last words. But I think that... Arsenal will show less of an attacking threat than City did. And I think the reason why Reece is picked over Callum at the minute is A, because he's got defensive experience, but he's also a better defender. But I don't think we will have too much of an issue. Famous last words, I know. Chelsea fans don't rate Pulisic. No, absolutely. I rate him very, very highly. I think he's really, really good. This just wasn't his best game today, which is why he is down there with Christensen. Do you think we know the centre half, Christensen, looks shaky at times? Yes, I'm very intrigued to see what we do with Malang Sarr, actually. I haven't really followed his progress this season, but if it's good enough, I think we should keep him, fits with, looks like, I believe he's just strong enough. Hopefully he will be soon. I think Chelsea fans rate him. He just gets injured all the time. Well, yeah, we say this. He's essentially still on the road to full fitness. So, but no, I'm massive. I rate him hugely. I just don't think today was the best game. But guys, we're going to leave it there. Do stay along for the live phone-in if you wish, and keep an eye out for all of our stuff coming out. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter, all of that nonsense. So guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'll catch you hopefully before, if not on Wednesday. Have a fantastic evening and up the Chelsea.